All right, now that we did all the calculations, it's time to work on the graphing. Okay. Now for the graphing, all right, I want to be graphing these average survival times. So let's see what Google recommends when I do that. So let's choose these average survival times, those three sets of data, do insert and chart. That's a graph. And oh, it said you should be using a bar graph. It already knew that, right? Okay, let's just move this. Okay, let's move this one down a little bit because we don't need those right now. So that way we have the graph right next to where we're looking. Okay. And now I have to scroll down or scroll up. Okay. So it made a bar graph, right? Okay. Now I need error bars, right? That's what we calculated, the two SEM or two standard error of the mean values. So I need an error bar that for this one, for example, goes 0.351 above that and 0.351 below that. Now, if I'm doing that on paper, that's relatively easy, but Google Sheets does it a little differently, okay? And it wants to do it as a percent. I'll show you what I mean. So let's click on this chart style because I want to edit it. And let's look at the series. So that means each of these, okay? Here's the original setup. I'm looking at customizing. When I click on error bars, okay, you can see it's as a percent. I don't want standard deviation error bars, okay? I want it as a percent, okay? That's the default. So let's work with that, okay? So basically it wants to know this number is what percent of this number, okay? So what I'm going to do is create a formula that says I want to know what percent this is divided by this times 100. Okay. Again, I'm going to show you a short way. I want to kind of get rid of some of those decimal places. Like that. Okay. Now, again, let's quick copy this formula over. There we go. So it's a percent. So that says this is 11.625% of this. Okay. Now I can go back to the Google Sheets, the chart style, and I want to customize and I want to add error bars. Okay. So I want to add the percent to be 11.625. Okay. Column 1. I don't want it to all of them, right? So column 1 should be 11.625. Okay. Column 2 should be what? 10.753. Column 1 is still 11.625. Column 2, 10.753. Column 3 should be 11.660. Okay. Those are the error bars. Okay. And you can see what would happen if I had a smaller, so say, what if this was 50? Look how big that error bar got. What if it was only 2? See how it's small? Okay, so that is indicating the variability. So 11.660, let's put the right one in. Okay, so this is our graph with error bars, right? And okay, so let's close this. Okay, I can look at my chart style, right? I can set it up a lot of different ways, okay? Okay, in order to meet the requirements for AP Bio, we need to have titles. So let's go here. Our chart title is, what did we do? Survival times of light mice on different color backgrounds, right? So that's our title, okay? That's our chart title, but now we need horizontal axis title. So that is ground color, right? And our vertical axis title is average survival time. Okay. And that was recorded in seconds, right? So we should add that for sure. Okay, now let's adjust so it matches, black, brown, and tan. Okay, so let's go to our series and let's look at one. Our fill color for that first one, that was the black background, right? Okay. And so that's the black one. Let's go to 2, right? That was brown. Okay. And then column 3 is tan. Okay. Okay, like that. Now let's add a key though to say what we mean by these. Okay, so we were in series, but now let's go to legend or key and let's put that at the top. Okay, it's at the top. Let's try putting it here. Okay, and let's click on this. This was black background, right? Let's click on this one. This was brown background. And this one was tan background, right? So let's just see where I like the legend. I think I like it better over here. If it's at the top, it could be like this, whatever way. Actually, I think I like it best up here. But that's a key, okay? When you were graphing on paper, you would put the labels underneath. Obviously, you wouldn't have them color coded, but I can make it nice here in Google Sheets. Okay, now this looks great for our graph. Okay, now let's talk about what these error bars mean. Since these error bars overlap, likely there is not any statistical difference in the average survival time between these two groups. But notice this error bar does not overlap with either of these error bars, which indicates that the survival time for the mice on this tan background is likely statistically different than the survival time of these, which means being tan on a tan background gives the mice most likely a survival advantage. Okay. And that's how you make a bar graph with error bars using Google Sheets.